So on the Model 3 order page here, we can see the different options that are available. My car is actually the long range rear wheel drive, which is not available anymore. It's not even an option. And as you can see, the price here listed is $53,000, but there's an asterisk because the actual price is $60,000. And this is because they like to include gas savings to provide you with this price. But if we click learn more, you can see that they're saying that over a 5-year period you would be saving $6,700. Now I think that this is inaccurate, and it really just depends on where you're from. For some people they're going to be saving less than that, and in my case, I'm from BC, Canada, the lower mainland specifically, where the gas prices are ridiculously high. You're going to be saving a lot more money. I remember when I picked up my Model 3 this past summer of 2018, gas prices were approaching, for premium, they were approaching almost $2 per liter. And right now they're down to $1.52, but still it makes a huge difference in terms of costs. So now we're going to take a look at the actual numbers. So I've had my Model 3 now for 5 months. I picked it up in the end of August of 2018, and it is now the end of January 2019. As you can see, I have almost 12,000 kilometers in the car. After 5 months, this seems to be higher than average. And in order to figure out if Model 3 is worth it or not for you in terms of fuel savings and costs, what we want to do is figure out the lifetime kilowatt usage. So swipe left on your main page. You'll be brought up to this page, and we'll go down to our trip B. So that's the kilometers on the car, and this is how many kilowatt hours have been used by the car. And this number is important too. This is basically your liters per 100 kilometer, but for an electric car. So I'm getting 231 watt hours per kilometer. You want a lower number, which means the car is more efficient. I found that most people online, I've been reading that people are averaging 150 watt hours per kilometer in their Model 3, so I'm a lot higher than average. This is close to what a Model 3 owner would be getting, but I find this is the norm for my driving style. Even with gas cars, I'm usually getting 20 to 30% worse than the rated fuel economy. Okay, now we're going to look at this little Excel sheet that I've gotten ready. So as you can see here, the Model 3, I have almost 12,000 kilometers, and the gauge on the car, like I showed you, says 2,700 kilowatt hours have been used. Now, some of that has been supercharging, which is paid for the Model 3. It's not free, it is for the Model S and X. And ChargePoint, which I charge for free in the city of Surrey. They have stations all over, and you don't have to pay for them. So how did I find those out? I'll show you in a bit. So for supercharging, you go to your Tesla account and you want to go to your payment history, and under there it'll show you the cost of supercharging. And if you click the drop down menu, it'll show you actually how many kilowatt hours you charge, and then we're going to total that up, and I got about 100 kilowatts, which I have right here. And so we want to open up the ChargePoint app. ChargePoint is a company that has free charging stations all throughout Surrey. You don't have to pay for them. You download the app and you don't have to add any credit card information. So in the top menu, we hit charging activity, and then we want to hit energy, and then trends in the top corner. You can see I got the car in the beginning of September, and this is how many kilowatt hours I've charged for free. And now we just want to total these up and then add it into our Excel sheet. Much you charged at home. But now when you're charging at home, not all the electricity coming out of the wall is actually getting into the battery. There's a rate of loss in terms of charging, and from reading online, I found that that is about 88%. So the actual build, how much electricity the car is used, is 2,700. And now in BC, this will vary on depending on where you're from, but in BC we have one supplier, BC Hydro, and how they work is there's a step 1 and step 2 price. Step 1 pricing is 8 cents per kilowatt hour, but even before we had the Tesla, we were getting billed into step 2. We have a bigger house, so step 2 pricing is 13 cents per kilowatt hour. Now assuming all the charging was done for 13 cents per kilowatt hour, this is my total cost to drive 12,000 kilometers. But then you have to add the supercharging cost, so then our real total is looking at approximately $400 for 5 months of driving. Now in a year, that's going to come out to $1,000, and over 5 years, it's going to cost me $4,800.
to charge the Tesla. In comparison to the gas car I was driving right before this, my total 5-year cost, I came to $27,000. So we're talking about a difference of $22,000 just over 5 years. Now, how did I get to this number? Well, my Jaguar XE is a 2018 model. It's a 2-liter turbo, very similar in spec, size, performance to the Model 3. And in order to drive approximately 12,000 kilometers, the efficiency I was getting with the car was 12.7 liters per 100 kilometer, and the gas price today for 91 octane is $1.52. Now keep in mind that the average has been much higher, but the gas prices have come down recently in the winter. The total cost to drive the same amount of kilometers would be $2,262 in only 5 months. And then here's my yearly cost, and here's my 5-year cost. So you can see that if you were coming from a gas car and you're living in an area where the gas prices are really high, the numbers really start to make sense, especially when you compare the prices of the Jaguar and the Model 3. We're looking at a price difference of approximately $10,000. So even after 2.5 years, the Model 3 pays for itself.